Welcome to Coffee and Monsters. My name is Jeremy. Today, I made Stanley the hiker. I'll start with some aluminum wire, shape out my armature, mark and drill some support holes on my base, add a little bit more wire for the arms, add some aluminum foil just to bulk it out. Once I'm happy with the shape, I'll use a little tape to actually hold the foil nice and tight. Using some cosclay soft gray today. Condition that with my pasta machine. Then I just start layering the sculpture. Get it all smoothed out. Now I've made him a backpack from some aluminum foil, and I'm just positioning before I layer it in clay as well. I want to make sure it fits good. Now I'll texturize the entire piece. These texture tools are just made out of polymer clay. I'll start layering some shorts, just sections at a time, and blend them all together. Use the back of my tool to texturize it a little bit. Add some seams and some cargo pockets. Can't forget the belt. And of course the belt loops. Oh yeah, he also needs a belt buckle. There you go, Stanley. Now we'll give Stanley his eye. This is a glass cabochon. Once I've pressed it in place, I'll wrap a little clay around the edges to trap it, as well as build out the eyelids. Let's build Stanley some boots. Need some good boots for hiking. Do all the little boot details. And give Stanley a lip. Now let's go ahead and stamp this guy. I'll start to add some seams and textures to the backpack. Some random pockets here and there. Just whatever makes sense. You can't forget the zippers. Once I'm happy with where I've positioned it, I'll add some monster bones, some oven-baked clay adhesive, get a nice snug fit on his backpack. Now we'll add the straps. Decided Stanley needs to be holding a crystal, so I found him a little tumbled carnelian. Now I'll shape out the hands. Go ahead and add some of the details. Use some more of the oven-baked clay adhesive to add those in place and blend them. And then we can give him his carnelian. He found that while hiking. I'll just use one of my bamboo skewers to serve as his hiking stick. We'll get the other hand blended on and wrap the fingers around that to bake that in position. I did add a little bit to the top of his hiking stick off camera. Here I'm cutting some red felt to serve as his bedroll. Got to straighten the mustache on Rico there. I'll go ahead and roll this up. Put that to the side. Sand down Stanley after he comes out of the oven and dust him off real well. Thanks, Dusty. I'll start the paint job by painting the entire sculpture black. Then I'll build my colors on top of that, leaving some of the black in the darkest areas and deepest recesses. Start with this layer of green, and then I dry brush a lighter green over top of that. And we'll build up some brown for the shorts. Dry brushing to make them look a little bit more worn. We'll grab a different brown for his boots and for his hiking stick. And touch up the black, as well as add the red shoestrings for his hiking boots. Now we'll begin painting the backpack. Choose a few highlight colors to accent some of the details in the pockets. Then dry brush the whole thing to give it a worn look. I'll put a coat of silver over the belt buckle and the zippers. I'll do a coat of yellow over the fingertips and the eye, a little on the elbows as well. Add a thin little red wash coat over the lip, and some copper to the fingernails. Now I'll take some Fabri-Tac and attach his bedroll. I'll cut a small piece of fabric for Stanley's beard. Roll in the edges on each side, a little hot glue, as well as roll in the top corners. give Stanley a little braid. And a trim. Added a little watered down, just regular glue, Elmer's glue, to help stiffen up and keep the braid from coming undone. Here I just took a little epoxy and a touch of hot glue to attach it to Stanley and gave him his walking stick. Let's add a couple of coats of blue to the base. And I ran outside to grab a few small rocks to add to the base as well. Use some Mod Podge and paint. Sprinkle some flocking, sand, dirt, some of the rocks I got from outside. I will epoxy those in place now. Add some epoxy to Stanley's base, to his supports, and attach him to the base. Give him his walking stick, and with that, Stanley is all finished, ready to go on his long hike. Hope you guys enjoyed today's monster. Hit that like and subscribe. Come back to see the monster I make each week. As always, thanks for watching Coffee and Monsters. We'll see you guys next time. Happy trails.